Peace, peace, Queen Episode here to align those chakras. And we're going to talk about the Sacral Chakra today. This is one of the most influential chakras, I would say, because the Sacral Chakra is the second chakra. It is 3 fingers below the belly button. It represents creativity and sexual energy. This is also where vital energy comes from as well. This is where we hold a lot of guilt and shame and those type of emotions as well. Why I feel like the sacral chakra is also one of the most important chakras because in this generation that we live in right now, the sacral chakra is what's being used and abused the most. Sex is being used for everything. People are using people for sex. People are being very reckless. And this is also because in the sacral chakra, this is where addictions are held. So addictions and disorders. So this is where body issues come from. This is where impulsiveness comes from, depression. So we all misinterpret this chakra the most, absolutely the most, because we have lost complete understanding of how the emotional body works because we've gotten to a point in consciousness or in evolution where we're back to the sexual place. And it makes so much sense as well. I feel like as a planet, we're finally up to the sacral chakra so that we can start working on that and healing that. Example being Jupiter being in Scorpio for the next year is all about bringing the darkness to the light. And it's so interesting because as soon as it went into Scorpio, all these pedophilia accusations and people stepping down, people getting called out left, right, and center, shows being stopped, it's crazy. And it's because of this. It's because it's time that sorry about my voice. It's time that we start healing our sexual selves and stop only using the sacral chakra for sexual activity. Now, the sacral chakra is also connected to the lumbar vertebrae. Some gemstones that are utilized in the sacral chakra, one I'm wearing is orange calcite. It's kind of a little hard to see the color. Some good starter stones as well. Tangerine quartz. I like any type of quartz because it is so easy on the energy that it is so easy for people just starting off and who can't really determine or understand energy yet, especially crystal energy, because just because you understand energy doesn't mean you understand crystal energy or that you're in a good place to absorb it properly and to really feel it out. So definitely be easy with that. And a little sidebar. This was actually a lot thinner than it was. It has expanded and grown. So it's a lot thicker than it was when I bought it, which is really a cool thing about crystals. I also have this little tangerine quartz as well. Himalayan sea salt, actually. This is a stone I have of it, but I also have the Himalayan lamp, which is also really great for stress. It's good for clearing negative ions in the air. It really clears the atmosphere, so imagine what it's going to do for your body. And then, I actually don't have too many sacral stones, but going through my notes for this video, I realized I needed to work on that. I need to work on that. So, we also have carnelian. This is one of the pieces I wrapped. Carnelian is also really, really, really great for the sacral chakra and is a really easy stone to work with. So let's go into this a little bit more. Fire opal is also really good. Orange tourmaline, some moonstone. Citrine is also really great as well. Citrine is also a very amazing starter stone because it is so easy on the energy, and it is just like one of the best, because I believe, don't, if I'm not mistaken, citrine is also one of those stones that you don't really need to cleanse because they don't absorb energy, they just deflect it and clear it. So this is really great to have as clusters in your home. When it comes to the sacral, essential oils that are really great for it and the root chakra is like sandalwood, you have cedar, you have any citrus type of oil or flower. So like when it comes to foods, because it's very important that when you want to work on your chakras as well, that you put those foods into your diet. And you don't even need to specifically figure out what foods go for what chakras. I like to play it simple. Just go by the color. Go by the color. For example, red apples for the root chakra, oranges for the sacral, bananas for the solar plexus, green apples or melons or green grapes, anything green for the heart chakra, blueberries for the throat chakra. You can go for grapes as well, and other purple eggplant for the third eye. Then for the crown, you can go like anything white or violet. So that would be a little bit more picky, seeing that we don't really have any like white foods. So usually when it comes to the crown chakra, I don't really affiliate food with it. I affiliate that to really be water, because water comes with so much information, and the crown is what really brings us all that information. So I feel like when it comes to the crown, it's just about being clear, being cleansed, and being very knowledgeable about your health and your diet. So if you really want to activate that crown, you have to start caring about yourself more in the aspect of not being ignorant to the information that's being given to you about the foods and the environment and all these GMO products, all these chemical products, all the animal tested products and what it's doing to us. By ignoring all of these things, you're actually ignoring the health of yourself, and that also comes from a lack of connection to your higher self, that you don't have the care or that need to only put good things in your body and to only put good things on your body, because it's also not about what you put inside, it's about what you put on it as well. So by using chemicals, by using all these different things that actually harm your skin, still really badly affects your body, which is why water is the best thing for clearing your skin, keeping you glowing, and it just brings you so much information. And FYI, water is liquid crystal, so you can also program your water, so keep that in mind. Now, when it comes to the sacral chakra, a lot of us are struggling with the sexual energy because we only deal with the sexual energy. So what I like to do, what I like to recommend to my clients and to friends, and it works because it's about more than just one type of energy going on down there. So if you're having issues, if your sex drive is too high, if it's too low, if you're having complications with how you control the sexual energy, you need to get creative. And when I say get creative, if you are already a creative person, that means you need to get out of your comfort zone. So you need to do things that you don't normally do on a day-to-day basis, that your energy is already accustomed to it. So what I like to suggest, it's all about the inner child. So you have to feed that inner child that fearlessness of doing whatever you want, but in a mindful way, because you're also an adult now, so don't get crazy. But it's about making sure that inner child is being taken care of, is being a part of your life. Society teaches us that we need to let that go, and that is the completely most incorrect thing to do. Never destroy your inner child. Never, 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 never. Keep feeding that inner child. Keep living that fearless life. And my suggestion would be coloring. I know that's going to sound crazy, but get you an adult coloring book, a child coloring book, whatever you need. Grab it. If you have a Michael's nearby and you're a little skeptical about like what kind of coloring book you're trying to get, they do have better, more complicated coloring books that you can work with. But I swear to you, coloring will control and help you with your sexual energy, because now you're compensating for the other balance to that sexual energy. So it is going to work miracles for you. I know this sounds crazy, but it works, it works, it works. So yeah, imbalances with the sacral chakra is really just like, it depends on your relationship with the world and other people and like what you're centered around. So dependencies, codependencies, especially with other people or substances. The sacral is all about the emotional body. So the more you ignore your emotions, the more you're going to be sexually imbalanced, because you're only working with one type of emotion. People that want to be cold-hearted and emotionless and robotic, you are imbalancing yourself, and you're going to make it very hard, and you're going to end up getting impulsive and having dependencies on different things because you're ignoring your emotional body. Your emotional body is a part of the 4 bodies that make you up to be a human being and for this experience. So by ignoring one part of your makeup, that is going to be one of the biggest imbalances to your life. So the sacral chakra is very important, and it is not just about sexual energy, guys. The opposite of this connection and proper balance is about feeling numb, feeling out of touch with yourself and how you feel. Overindulgence and fantasy, sexual obsessions, feeling stuck in any particular feeling or mood is also a huge play on you not having a balanced sacral chakra. The element too that does work with the sacral chakra is water, and the moon, the crescent moon. It is the color of silver that the energy connects to, where the moon and the water combine. So it works hand in hand, and it makes a zillion amounts of sense, because how the moon works for us is that water is a representation of emotions, because water is always flowing, it's always moving, it has information. And our emotions pretty much work the same way because it's non-physical, so it works in a flowing way. So water is really what is the greatest representation of emotions, and the moon controls the water, the waves, how it moves, and so that it doesn't go crazy. So it's very important, especially for women as well, for your menstrual cycles and just for your sanity, to sync with the moon cycle. Please get in sync with the moon cycle. You need to know when it's a full moon, because the crazies come out, energy is intense, and for the new moon, it's all about a lot of new things, so a lot of changes is going to go on during the new moons. So the more you get in sync with the moon cycle, the more on an emotional scale you can get in more of a balance. Let's see. I just really feel that it's important that we start really working on this chakra more, because, like I said, we really get too caught up in this chakra being just about sex, and a lot of us are really living in this lifestyle where sex rules everything, and you're ignoring your emotional side, and this is why you have so much imbalances and why you feel so out of it and why you feel so disconnected, because you're not connecting to your emotions, you're not going through your emotions, or you're only staying in one type of emotion where you choose all the time to be depressed, to be down, to not do the right thing. Like, all these things are choices, and we think that things are happening to us. And that's also, like, when it comes to the sacral chakra, you have to really understand what it means to victimize yourself. And a lot of people tend to overlook victimization in the wrong ways. People don't victimize themselves because they just want everything, or because they just want all the attention in the world. That's not what that's about. Victimizing is about imbalances within yourself, insecurities within yourself that you don't know how to release. You don't know how to let it out. So it comes out in these impulses. It comes out in what appears to be selfishness and wanting all this attention and wanting or overreacting to certain things and not really looking at things with a clear view. But it's because this person doesn't have a clear view. And there's a lot of different ways to victimize yourself where people think it's normal. So victimizing is not just someone trying to take all the attention or cause drama. There's a lot of different ways you can victimize yourself. So one of those big things being thinking that life is happening to you and that people are doing things to you intentionally, and that people are hurting you intentionally, that you have to hold all of these things against the world. That's victimizing yourself because you aren't dealing with you. You aren't sitting there with yourself, and you're not going through your emotions. You don't respect your emotions. So this is why you get into that place where it's like you find it too hard to just get through it. So you find ways to victimize yourself so that other people can do it for you. Okay, let's see. So this is also an area of wisdom and feelings why Buddhists wear the orange all the time. If on a physical level, it's connected to the colon, the bladder, the gallbladder, the digestion, and assimilation. So this is where, again, it comes back to eating disorders. This is where eating disorders come from, an imbalanced sacral chakra. Disorders in the reproductive organs, the sexual dysfunction, stiffness, loss of appetite for food, back problems, knee problems, foot problems, menstrual difficulties. On a positive note, good things about your sacral chakra being balanced is alive senses, enjoyment of physical pleasure, healthy sexuality, healthy appetite, vitality, energy. Some gifts you can have is like curiosity, exploration, independence, healthy boundaries, knowing, very importantly, that you are separate from your parents. Let me say that again. You are separate from your parents. This is why I was saying I need to work on this chakra, because my lessons right now is about the fact that I've absorbed traumas from my mom and my dad. And I've been reliving this over and over. And it was pretty hard for me because I couldn't understand for a while. I'm like, this is not a lesson that I need to work on. Not the absorbing part, but just that I didn't create this problem and I knew it. I knew I wasn't creating these problems that were repeating, and I couldn't figure out why they kept repeating, because I'm like, this has nothing to do with me, so what is it? And it wasn't until really I've been purging so much recently, and I started realizing what scenarios and what situations and what dramas I've downloaded from my parents, and that those things that I couldn't figure out why I was repeating, that was why. Because we are all empaths in our own ways, in our own forms. Some people utilize it more than others. But it does not take away from the fact that we still absorb energy, we still feel energy, we still respond to energy. So it's really important and very crucial that you realize and you recognize that a lot of your behavior, a lot of the things that, let me not say a lot, because it's going to depend on the person. There are going to be situations, circumstances, things in your life that you repeat that does not belong to you. So this is why you really need to figure out on an emotional level what belongs to you and what doesn't. Because then you start to realize what belongs to other people and who it belongs to. So now that I'm finally recognizing what belonged to my mom and what traumas I absorbed so much that I repeated it into my own life, again, we signed these soul contracts though. So everything that happens to us, we wanted it to happen and in that way. So life is never happening to you, it's happening through you. Your higher self is already aware of these contracts. It's already guiding you to stay on these contracts and to stay on this path. So you need to make sure that you're not repeating your parents' cycles. You have to break down your life. In order to shift, in order to start opening these chakras, in order to start really working with these chakras, you have to break down your life. So this is going to require a lot of isolation. It's going to require losing a lot of people, a lot of friends, a lot of relationships, a lot of people that you really love and hold very dear because you no longer vibrate on the same tone, on the same frequency. And at some point, you complete your contract and that person got to go. And it's going to be really hard. It's going to be really tough. You're going to cry. You're going to be depressed. You're going to go through shadow work. Don't get discouraged. Don't get caught up in suicide because it's all just uncomfortableness of shifting. Suicide comes from awareness of things that you need to change, things of the world that needs to change, and that uncomfortableness of not wanting to be here on the planet is kind of sort of a victimization in a way because what we're doing, because I have been suicidal, I still kind of go through it because as an indigo child, it is very, very hard to live in this world because you are so aware of so many things and you are so intelligent, especially on a emotional level. We work with energy, we work with emotions. So the more you ignore your empathy, the more you ignore your emotions, the harder your life is going to be. And this is where we start victimizing ourselves and feeling like, oh, I can't do this, so let me exit. Don't give up. And that's the problem because we're so ready to give up because it's so hard, but that's also okay. Know that it's hard for a reason, but also understand that the universe, your higher self, your spirit guides, you got all this stuff protecting you and guiding you. So stop living in a perspective where life is happening to you and where life is just expanding through you. You create, your life is a reflection of how you feel inside and what you feel you deserve. So once you start blaming others, once you stop recognizing your own faults and where you make mistakes, you won't have the awareness to fix it. You won't have the awareness to make things better. So this is not about life being so difficult, people being so difficult. You chose to come to earth, so suck it up. And I say this to myself too because sometimes I really need to G-check myself. And it's like, suck it up. Because ain't nobody forced you here. No YOLO, you don't only live once. Your parents didn't force you here by having sex. That's not how this shit works. It don't work like this. We sign contracts. We wait in line to come to earth. Granted, not everybody on earth is human. So a lot of us are not human. A lot of us are like really on the spiritual journey. And when I say human, what like real humans are just really new seeds, really new stars, really new souls where they have not experienced much reincarnation yet. So it's not even just about like, oh, we're all just aliens and these are humans. No. It's really just about how old these spirits are and their journeys. So if you're more human than alien, it's because you're a newer seed, you're a newer star, you're a newer soul. So for us who's been around longer, it's automatic. This awareness is automatic. So we need to really start working on this. And why I want to go more off of my notes on the sacral is because it's so much that we ignore about this that I don't want to miss anything. So let me get back into the challenges. Some more challenges would be poor social skills, manipulation, poor boundaries. Boundaries. We need to set these, and we need to stop letting people get over us, stop letting people make us feel bad. Do what ignites your soul. If you have that fire in the pit of your stomach, follow that intuition. Stop doing things based on other people. Stop letting people get one over on you. You need to protect yourself. Some more gifts are joy, optimism, enthusiasm, tenderness, nurturing, the ability to deal with emotions, ups and downs in life, persistence, dedication, wisdom, imagination, creativity, substance. Some more challenges is obsessive, flamboyant, demanding of attention, mood swings, excessive strong emotions, emotional dependencies, obsessive attachment, fragmentation, disassociation, dead-ended senses, not connected to oneself, not connected to one core self, soul, or spirit. Again, stop ignoring the fact that emotions are a serious thing. Feelings is a different circumstance. Feelings is more like on a level of feelings towards a person, feelings towards a thing. Emotions on a full general perspective is how you feel inside, is how you react to things. Your feelings are, I know this is all the same thing essentially, but there is kind of a difference. Like your feelings, your emotions, you have an emotional body and you implement feelings based on that emotional body. So that emotional body needs to be taken care of because it is a body. It is a part of a makeup of your spirit. So by ignoring that, you're always going to feel that out of balance. And that's where that disconnection from one core self, because that's a body that you're completely not working with. And then there's Tantra, like different moves and practices that our ancestors used to use for sexual rituals to manifest things. Sex is not just for pleasure, it is for manifestation. Sex is for manifestation. So if you are only having sex for pleasure, you are abusing it. Because it is not only meant for pleasure. Pleasure is actually just a bonus in sex. Certain tantric positions, creates and helps energetically manifest things into physicality, into physical reality. So, stop abusing sex. Get more creative. Start flowing in that perspective of life. Let's get this going, because we need to switch this up. We need to stop being about this life. We need to get with the synergy. We need to do better, guys. We need to really shift this world, and it's going to start with ourselves, and most importantly with getting our sexual perspective back in place and back into a healthy place. Let me just check really quick if there's anything else that I can throw in there. Flow and flexibility, yeah, I did say that. Okay, another thing I did miss. So I'm gonna be a little bad at these pronunciations, so please. Sacral chakra is also called Swadhisthana or Hara, which Buddhist translates Hara as being like the center of the self. It's about sexuality, self-esteem, creativity, pleasures, frustrations. It governs life lessons, blaming and guilt, sex, power and control. It is the base of your sense of morality, creativity, manifestation, money. The sacral is all about abundance. So if you are abusing sexuality, your abundance is going to be all the way screwed up. So abundance is also coming from the sacral, so you have to make sure that you are working on that so that you can have abundance in your life and so that you don't always feel like you're in a place of lack. But again, you can't go off of those feelings. That is not a part of your emotional body, it's a feeling. So don't feel or focus on that feeling of lack. It's about duality, feelings, emotions, your personal magnetism, your patterns of control and sociability. An imbalance again is eating disorder, alcohol, drug addiction, intimacy issues, impotence, depression. And how to know that your sacral is balanced is when your relationship with the world and other people is centered around nurturing, pleasure, and harmonious exchange. When you live in a reality or a perspective when you don't want to give anything, you want to pick and choose when you give and how you give, you're being selfish and you're not being open, you're not being, that's kind of a sign that you're not balanced there, because when it comes to nurturing and harmonious exchange within relationships and partnerships, whatever the case is, it's really important that that's an equal exchange, because, and that is with an open mind, because you picking and choosing when someone deserves love and when someone doesn't is very victimizing, because that's really how you feel. You feel like people pick and choose when they give to you or how they give to you, and this is why I highly disagree with people when they say that other people are not reflections of us, that we're not all, mirrors of each other. We are. You're ignoring parts of yourself that are being shown to you by the universe, and that's going to be an issue for you, and you're going to again feel very conflicted because you're ignoring a huge part of you that truly matters and plays a huge part in your manifestation and your abundance. So please guys, let's start working on this, and let's go through the shadow work. I know it's hard. I know it's tough. You're going to cry a lot. It's going to be very hard. But you got this. We got this. We're going to get through this. And as we go through these chakras, I hope that you learn more. And again, you can always reach out to me. I do help do chakra analysis. You just can send me your screenshot of your percentages from your free chakra test, which can be found on Astro Cafe, I believe. Just type in free chakra test. You can definitely message me to work on that. I charge $40, and I help break it down for you and help give you suggestions and direction towards working on, based on your results, how to get you more open, how to get you more balanced, and how to get you more focused. So let's get this chakra work done, guys. Let's shift the world, and the only real way to shift the world is to shift yourself. So gotta work on that self, man. Don't be afraid to work on that shadow self. Don't be afraid of the dirt. Don't be afraid of the mess, because the more you go through it, the more you get through it, the easier things get, the better things get. So with that being said, enjoy the rest of your day. Peace.